He never thought he could pull that shit off when Tifa's there, like with the landing lights going straight in, like, Cloud, you can get it when you want. It's like, it's right here. They're hanging out and everything.
Cloud? Something wrong?
So far away, Lucas and lovely Onyx at home. Same question. Who is your favourite female character from a Final Fantasy game?
I mean, it really is hard to just not say Tifa, Karl.
It's hard not to say Tifa, but I've had a soft spot for Yuna, because Final Fantasy X is my jam.
I would also like to shout out the teacher/party member in Final Fantasy VIII, whose name I never know how to say, of like Quistis.
I don't think anyone knows how to pronounce it, because I've always said Quistis, because I played the game when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the official pronunciation is like Keistis.
Okay, yeah. I'd never know. I could have said that name in about 10 different ways.
Yeah, I am a fan of Keistis, though. I also like from that game Selphie. Because she has a fun design, has fun characterization, but also she has one of my favourite like gimmicks from Final Fantasy games, which is the instant death mechanic.
It's so good when she just... The end. I'm sorry.
She just dances with the nunchucks and just the screen says the end and the enemy just flies off screen and you win. It's fucking hilarious. But before that, for anyone wondering what Wiki Weekends is, it is a series where I, your host of this episode, Karl Smallwood, am joined by my good friend Lucas Holland.
Hello there.
And we scour the lengths and breadths of the internet for a wiki on a subject we're interested in. And today I thought we'd talk about Tifa Lockhart, because I've been replaying through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I was expecting there to be some sort of announcement about the next game at the PlayStation State of Play, and there just wasn't.
I think it was like the creative director or something said that this year we're going to hear more about the third part of the remake trilogy than we've ever heard before, which technically means that we should be hearing something, but just being told we're going to hear more news about it is more news than we've ever gotten.
Yeah, because I liked Remake. Rebirth has some issues, like the traversal and like the abundance of minigames, like that's been criticised to death online as it is, but yeah, like, the game itself is super fun, the story's great, and obviously just it's so nice to replay a game I played endlessly as a child, Final Fantasy VII, in just the highest quality like possible.
We're counting on you, man.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. You guys good to go?
When it comes to like the minigames in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I really like the optional ones, but it's things like go around as Kate Sith, but Catchy, whichever way to say you want.
The robot
whichever
cat.
way you want to say it. The little cat throwing boxes with the Moogle robot. Just, oh, that was an early game-ending run.
Like, Rebirth is a game of some incredible highs and some devastating lows. Well, let's try and keep it positive, Luke, and talk about one of the best characters from the game, Tifa. So, I've got a question for you, mate. Who did you try and date in your run? Are you a Cloud and Tifa fan, or are you a Cloud Aerith fan?
I will take every role-playing element out of it and just go, I want to date Tifa, so Cloud wants to date Tifa.
Okay, I agree with you there, mate. And also from a narrative sense, I think the Tifa and Cloud relationship makes more sense. Because don't want to spoil too much of Final Fantasy VII, because Lucas, you've not played the original, have you?
I have not ever played past the first, 2 hours of the original Final Fantasy VII.
Suffice to say, there is a story reason why Cloud and Aerith don't work as a couple. And that's all I'll say. And if you know, you know.
But whatever happens, you can't fall in love with me. Even if you think you have, it's not real.
But yeah, for all those people screaming at me, I was just a Final Fantasy VIII kid. What can I say?
I think the funniest thing about Final Fantasy VIII for me is that I didn't know what the game was. So when I was younger, my cousin had the game and just didn't like it, so gave me it. But they only gave me the first disc. And I didn't realise games could come on more than one disc. So I just played the first disc, and the ending of the first disc is just Squall dies. Or Squall dies. So have you ever heard the fan theory that Squall's dead?
Yeah.
So the theory is like when she hits him with that, it kills him, and the rest of the game is just like a fever dream as he's in hospital. Because this is where the game starts turning into like just Final Fantasy style nonsense.
Right.
Whereas up to now it's been somewhat realistic, but you see right there.
It's been semi-grounded, yeah.
Yeah, but like that is through the fucking chest.
Like that is, yeah, he's fully impaled there.
So I thought that was the game. And many years later, when I thought, I want to replay that game I played as a kid. Hang on a second, there's more.
Why is the moon crying monsters?
I legit thought the ending of Final Fantasy VIII is, the sorceress wins. Squall sucks.
Just all of a sudden you were like, why are we in space and why is the moon crying monsters?
I had no idea. I legit thought just that's the end of the game. Just we try to beat the sorceress, she was too tough. And because I was a kid and an idiot, I thought, well, maybe if I level up more. So I tried, like, getting to level 99 on the first disc and then going to the end, and Edea still beat me. Bullshit. Oh! Look at that! Big on thought. Silence brand. Twerked victory. Oh! Donkey Konga.
There we go then.
You shouldn't have survived.
This is gonna hurt way more.
Quiz this now. How much damage is she doing with his eyes?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I didn't really get that far into Final Fantasy VIII. I didn't end the first disc even, but I was a small child, and my dad turned up and went, this game's meant to be really good, and it's got 4 discs.
That's a lot of game.
And I was like, this sounds awesome. I didn't know what was going on, because I was about 5 years old, but I enjoyed playing it while I could.
There it is. I'm just a big fan of like the Final Fantasy series. Well, that's like what the story I always tell about like my first introduction to it, because man, that was a bad introduction of like I just thought that was the end of the game. Monster, I must desperado it. I can't get over how much damage this did.
Yeah.
I legit did not expect us to be doing this much damage this early in the game. Oh my god.
There we go.
The second disc never turned up. Just Squall died. Anyway,
The Squall died.
Tifa Lockhart. So she's a member of the anti-Shinra militant group Avalanche. Tifa manages 7th Heaven, a bar located in the Sector 7 slums. A student of Zangan-style martial arts, she can clobber opponents with her fleet-footed combat techniques. And she whoops so much ass. Like, is she the physically strongest member of the party? Physically, because I think like she's physically stronger than Cloud. It's just that Cloud has the giant sword, so he does more visible damage.
Potentially. There's also Barrett, but we don't really see what Barrett can do with those giant arms.
Yeah, he always uses his gun. Like, Barrett is physically a massive guy, but Tifa does know like Zangan-style martial arts, which utilises her chi. And, like, in the final boss fight, like, Joey fight like Jenova Lifeclinger, I think it is. You have, like, the great moment where the entire party just kicks the shit out of Jenova. Tifa just punches it in the fucking face.
Yeah, that is the thing, is that, like, Cloud's got, the Buster Sword with all his magic and stuff like this, and then Tifa just punches things.
That's what I think, like, is she the physically strongest member of the party? Because she's just punching things. And I love that as well. I love, like, RPGs where you have a character who just punches. It's like, well, fuck your sword nonsense, punch.
The monk archetype is fantastic.
Yeah, it's all the way back to the original Final Fantasy. But just the idea of, I don't need weapons, I just need these hands. It's like, these hands rated E for fucking everybody.
I know you. The Colosseum.
What the hell?
Get down!
Oh, you stupid! Wait!
And the satisfaction of that character type goes over into FF8 as well, right? With Zell, where just the absolute game-ending combo that you can do in the limit break.
Yep, like Punch, Rush, Armageddon. That's the thing as well, the characters who just punch always have the best limit breaks because they have to do some absolute fucking nonsense to justify why they're in the party.
Yes!
Zell! End it! He's like,
What does he
there's
run
no
around?
world.
There's nothing to
He's
run
gonna-
around, Karl.
Lucas. The world's still there in Zell's heart. It's kept alive in Zell's heart. This is it. This is everybody's hopes. Like, for example, we mentioned Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. Like, well, you got Squall. Squall has, like, a gun strapped to a sword. He's got 2 weapons in one. What's Squall's ultimate move? Fucking Lionheart, where he attacks the enemy 16 times in a row. What can Zell possibly do to match that? Oh, he runs around the entire world.
He does like a punch that the Flash can pull off.
It's great, right? But, you know, we continue on now with Tifa's description. So she's a major recurring character in the Final Fantasy VII series, and the idea that Final Fantasy VII is its own distinct series. It'd be like if, like, oh, I don't know, like Fast and Furious 6 had a bunch of extended material, but just for that movie. Which it kind of does, I suppose, because, like, Hobbs and Shaw is technically like an offshoot of, like, Tokyo Drift.
Oh, right, okay.
Because that's like where like Han dies, which is like, do you know what? I'm not going to continue that because then people know how much I've watched Fast and Furious, and I'm losing aura points as we speak.
How's it going, bro? What's up, man? Welcome to Race Wars.
Great, thanks a lot.
And yeah, it is weird because there's multiple times where individual numbers of Final Fantasy have got their own spin-off series, and like 7 is the most obvious, but 10 has 10-2, and then 13 has 13-2, and Lightning Returns, which is 13-3.
Yeah, I've said it before in our videos talking about Final Fantasy characters, which you can check out somewhere on screen now, I imagine. But like the numbers in Final Fantasy games are so divorced from actual like numerical like counting that it doesn't really matter.
No, it really doesn't. When you play Final Fantasy 16, you are not playing the 16th Final Fantasy game.
Like I said, like the number is like incidental. But, you know, we mentioned here Lucas. So Tifa grew up with Cloud in Nibelheim, but lost contact with him many years ago. When she meets him again, she convinces him to join Avalanche to fight the Shinra Electric Power Company. I hate when they put politics into video games. I hate how they retroactively went back 20 years and put politics into Final Fantasy VII.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care.
It's not that I was a fucking idiot child when I first played. It's like, no. They added it retroactively into the remake. I'm not being serious there, that is sarcastic, but that is an actual argument I've seen.
I can't believe they added politics into the game where you need to save the world from an evil company, like stripping the literal life out of the planet.
Like, the game could not be more on the nose about its themes. Like, you are literally playing as a group of terrorists trying to save the world.
It's the same type of people that say that One Piece doesn't have politics in it.
Isn't like the primary antagonistic force of One Piece the government?
The world government.
The world government. Oh, there we go. But, you know, we'll talk about that another day. But it mentions here that Tifa hates Shinra due to the destruction of their hometown. She supports Cloud as his comrade and helps him and his allies fight Sephiroth. Tifa is reserved, moral, and empathetic, acting as a motherly figure towards her allies. It's like, oh. Female character in a like any story, right? It's like she's got to have mummy issues, or she's got to act like a mother to the main character. Can't she just be Cloud's friend?
Yeah. And that's...
She's the same age as he is. I think she's younger. She's younger than he is.
And that's annoyingly, like, what I read the actual dynamic between Cloud and Tifa is that they're just friends.
They're friends, yeah.
But when you put a 10-on-10 design like Tifa into my game and give me the option to romance her, again, throw that role-playing out the window. I want to date Tifa.
Oh, man, well, it's like they're like Tifa was his childhood crush, right? That's how I always read the relationship between Cloud and Tifa. Like, he's such a fucking goober goofball. Like, he would never have the balls to say that he had a crush on Tifa. He never thought he could pull that shit off when Tifa's there, like with the landing lights going straight in. Like, Cloud, you can get it when you want. It's like, it's right here. Like, they're hanging out and everything.
Cloud? Something wrong?
No. Nothing. It's just hot. In the sun.
And he's just that much of a fucking goober,
What's
right? It's like when you're on like Costa del Sol, and you have the moment where like Tifa and like Aerith turn up in like the beachwear. Cloud straight up just checks Tifa out, and then he's too embarrassed to say that he is.
Do you remember a guy named Emilio from Nibelheim?
Only person from the village I remember is you.
Huh? Oh. Okay then.
At least in the remake series, play him off as just being the most socially awkward character that's ever been.
I love it.
Just because, like, you get that moment where he dresses up in the dress, right? And both Aerith and Tifa are making fun of him and complimenting him of how hot he looks in that dress. But he can't stand just the flirtation, and he just crumbles.
Cloud? Is that you? Oh my god, that makeup! And that dress!
Nailed it. I know. Thank you. Moving on.
It's one of the things I like about Rebirth, of like when you get the option to talk to your allies and you get those glimpses of Cloud as he is. You don't get like the cold, like cast iron soldier facade that he puts on for everybody else.
Okay, what about Tifa? Thinking naughty thoughts.
Oh, shut up.
Busted!
I thought ninjas were supposed to be silent.
Oh, forgive me for interrupting your fantasies. I'll let you get back to being a perv.
As you go through the game, you slowly chip away at that. And while like the date you have with Tifa, I think that's the canon one. I think that's the canon relationship. I did go back and look at the one with like Barrett, for example, where it's just Cloud and Barrett broing out.
You know damn well what I'm talking about. Why do you always have to overthink things? That ain't no way to live. You gotta just go for it sometimes.
You mean like you do all the time?
Touche.
I actually think the best one is like the one that you're basically not meant to get, where you go out with like Sid, Kate Sith, and I can't even remember the vampire's name.
Vincent.
Whoa! Talk about a breathtaking spectacle! Seriously, are you lads seeing this?
Like, if you fuck up like the affection mechanic by just not talking to your allies at any point during the game, you end up going like a super awkward, like 4 friends who don't know each other have to hang out.
And it's a really good little date scene.
It's good.
I like
you get a glimpse into Cloud's personality, right? That's how he is with other people. He's very standoffish, but when he's like with Tifa or Aerith or Barrett, like he's much more open. But we continue now. In contrast to her shy personality, Tifa has a vigorous combat style, typically fighting at close range with her fists. Typically, always.
It's the only option she's got. It's just punch and kick.
That's the one. It's like every enemy Tifa fights, like, do you speak sign language? It's like, no. Well, tough luck, because I'm going to be throwing these fucking hands.
/ dolphins. Every now and then there's just a dolphin thrown in there.
The slippery Duchess, man. I fucking love, like, dolphin blow. It's such a dumb move. And we have here Lucas a mini overview of her gameplay, and it says her ultimate limit break is Final Heaven, her weapon is Knuckles, and her ultimate weapon is Premium Heart.
We'll say that in terms of gameplay, at least in the remake trilogy, so far, duology that we've had, Tifa is the only character that I see as being compulsory to the party.
Yes. Like, just her gameplay's too fun. Her gameplay is way, way too fluid.
Also, she builds up that multiplier on the stagger mechanic so much that it is basically required to do a lot of damage to the really hard enemies. I think every character can do it a little bit by dealing some damage, but she has mechanics built into her moveset that can actively do it guaranteed. So you just literally, you're wasting time if you're not playing as Tifa when you stagger a character.
Which just like it shows like how skilled she is, right? Like she's the only character who can do that. You have like Cloud, Soldier First Class. He can't do that. Tifa can. With her bare hands.
Just by punching and raising that G.
I love the idea of just, I'm just going to punch it. I don't care. Like I said, when you fight like Jenova, like Lifeclinger, of just, I don't fucking give a shit. You have like, every member of the party goes in with their weapons and like magic, and Tifa's like, I'm just going to fucking punch it in the face. And it's also so
Aerith
great. I'm going to give a shout out to the voice actress for Tifa in that moment, because that, spoilers, the most famous spoiler in all video gaming, that's after Aerith has died.
I got this.
In Final Fantasy VII Original, obviously, if people haven't played Rebirth, then people may not be aware that they're kind of taking like a potential twist on the story.
There's
I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
There is timeline shenanigans. My theory is that the third game is going to be called Reawakening, and we get to revive Aerith.
Okay, that's your theory.
That's just a random theory that I've come up with.
Let us know. If Lucas gets any of that right, let us know. It does make sense. Like, you know, it would suit the naming conventions of the game so far. Remake, Rebirth, Reawakening.
Yeah, and we had the reunion, which a lot of people are saying should be used. That's already been used for the Crisis Core remake.
But you know what, Lucas? We'll find out as and when they choose to reveal any information about the game. Because we don't know anything about it, even its title. So let's see how close you are with that one. And getting back to that fight, one of the best things about it, as mentioned, is like, it's after Aerith has quote-unquote died. I guess we'll find out what actually happened in the next game. But it's just every member of your party is like, fuck this. And Tifa is the most pissed off, and her voice acting in that moment is one, I recall it so distinctly, of how angry she is. Like when she delivers that punch, it's pure fucking hatred.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the moment where in the third game you fight Sephiroth, and out of nowhere, just in the climactic moment, just Doom is cast. It's like, what's happened? And Aerith just shows up out of nowhere.
That's a great bit, isn't it? Like when you're fighting Sephiroth and you have like the showdown, Cloud and Sephiroth, and then you get like the Avengers Endgame portal open up, and like Aerith walks through, and like, oh shit! You get like alternate timeline Aerith come in, and then she restores all of your mana and HP, and you're like, yes! I'll give him props for that game, or that series I should say, of they did not play One Winged Angel until that moment, and it's like they knew. They fucking knew that's when One Winged Angel needed to play.
I saw what you did back there. Thank you.
That's the thing, for all its faults, they get the hype right in those two remake games, and I'm really looking forward to finishing the trilogy, because I get to see the end of Final Fantasy VII, but I also think they're going off the rails and not doing the Final Fantasy VII story anymore.
Lucas, let me introduce you to something known as a JRPG. So getting back to Tifa now, her appearance. She has very dark hair, varying from brown to black. So I guess that just depends on like what like Final Fantasy VII piece of media you're looking at, but it's very dark brown or black depending on like what game you're playing or what piece of media you're watching. It typically falls below her waist and is tied at the tips to form, and this is the detail I find really interesting, a dolphin-like split. And that's not present in Remake and Rebirth. It's just like a little ponytail, but the reason she has the dolphin blow is because her hair has the two splits at the end, like a dolphin's tail. The dolphin isn't actually a real dolphin. That's like just a visualize. In my head, she summons a real dolphin.
It is called. It's a real dolphin.
The reason why one of Tifa's like moves is called Dolphin Blow is because when she does the uppercut and does the backflip, her hair flicking behind her looks like a dolphin jumping out of the water. So it's kind of weird that for Remake and Rebirth, they remove that detail from her design, because it means that that move doesn't make sense unless she's physically summoning an actual dolphin.
That's the thing. In my brain, it was just she's got the power to punch things so hard that she summons a dolphin. And I don't question it, because it's Final Fantasy, why would I question it?
Yeah, but that's like, if anyone's ever wondering, like, why can Tifa summon a dolphin? It's like, it's just a visualization. Like, it's not actually a real physical dolphin. Like, it is to me.
We're talking about the series where in the next game, Renoa starts shooting her dog off her arm as a cannon.
What's a real, like, you can do that with dogs. Okay, what's the most bullshit thing like a character does in Final Fantasy? 'Cause there's a load of stuff like that, right?
There is a bunch
the number one with a bullet is Sabin suplexing the train. Like, nothing will ever top Sabin suplexing a train, but...
Ghost Train.
Ghost Train, yeah.
Specifically.
Imagine what you're doing if you're driving that Ghost Train. It's like, well, I'm alright, because one, I'm a train, and two, I'm a ghost. And then a dude comes up and fucking suplexes you. Ridiculous.
No one's ever suplexed a train, but that added little detail that is a ghost train of all things.
It's the extra detail that everyone always forgets that makes that thing especially stupid. In regards to Final Fantasy VII, we've not actually got the move yet, because obviously it's technically halfway through the story, so we haven't unlocked everyone's like final moves or weapons. Tifa in Final Fantasy VII has Meteor Blow, and that's where she picks up an enemy and throws him into space. And she can do that to, like, Ultimate Weapon.
I think one of my favourites, I can't remember the name, I think it's Blasting Zone.
Oh, yeah, Squall, where he does, like, the fucking He-Man, I have the power, and a laser the size of the Earth comes out of his sword.
He summons, like, a Kamehameha out of his sword and just hits you with it.
Oh my god, Squall, no! Squall, no, you can't have this power. I have the fucking power. The consonant-sized blade. Oh, fuck you. Why are limit breaks so cool? They're always hype, right? And there's a couple that aren't great, but I like them because they're kind of shit. Like in Final Fantasy X, I absolutely love that, like, Tidus's first limit break is just, like, slice and dice, where he just hits the enemy 5 times. And it's really bad, but, like, story-wise, it makes sense of he only learned to fight like 5 minutes ago, and as you go through the game and unlock new limit breaks, he gets stronger and his limit breaks get more fantastical.
Just the jet shot, why not?
He gets to the point where he starts firing lasers out of his sword, but his initial first limit break is he just hits the enemy 5 times, and it's really lame. But then obviously as he gets better, and I think his final limit break is Blitz Ace, and that's where someone just throws him a Blitz ball, and he kicks it and it detonates like a nuclear bomb.
Well, and speaking of Final Fantasy X, you've also got Auron, who just
get
hits
the
people
fuck out
of
shooting
out
star,
of the arena.
clunk.
No time to waste. Let's go.
Battle done. And I think I mentioned this last time we talked about Final Fantasy VII, like Remake and Rebirth, of I kind of miss how many crazy status effects there were in earlier Final Fantasy games. I understand why. It's like, okay, we want to streamline like the mechanics because we don't need, for example, 18 different elemental types. That's too many. But it's to the point where some of the elemental types no longer make sense because like they introduce like Quake magic in Rebirth, but Quake magic is listed as being like non-elemental, even though it says Quake.
Just physical damage. I'm just like, no, give us rock type. Bring Pokemon into Final Fantasy again. Just obviously, I know it wasn't Pokemon that originated it, but yeah, it feels so watered down in terms of the like role-playing mechanics.
Yeah, it means you can't, like, the specialization for your builds is kind of limited. But one status effect that I absolutely hope they bring in the next game is Eject. Because Eject is where you just kick the enemy out of the ring. It's always so fucking funny when just What do you do to end the fight? Kick the enemy out of the ring. I don't want to fight him anymore. Get rid.
So again, we mentioned Selphie earlier, just, oh yeah, grab an angel to fly the enemy away. But Auron just pointing to the stands and going, I'm just going to hit
just
it.
Does the Babe Ruth,
it's so good.
It's great. And Lucas, I know you've always wanted to know how big Tifa's tits are. So Tifa has red eyes that has been depicted as brown in some appearances. She has an athletic build with a slender but toned physique and visible abdominals. Her bust, waist, and hip measurements are 92, 60, and 88. So that's 37, 24, and 35 inches. Her bust size is a Japanese G70, which is an American 32 triple D.
Cloud? Something wrong?
Obviously, a PS1 design is even more ridiculous than the Remake design.
Yeah.
But we've mentioned it before. When Remake came out, people were mad that they, quote, like, removed the boobs from Tifa. And I'm just looking at that character and that is the most insanely stacked woman I've ever seen. So I'm sorry that men online just don't know what a sports bra is.
Which you can physically see the sports bra underneath her outfit. I really like Tifa's remake design. I love that they kept the spirit of the original, but also added some more realistic flair to it, so it makes sense in the more like realistic art style.
They added practical elements to her design and made her look like she is capable of being in a fight in that outfit.
Like similar to like Cloud, right? Where they give him like the little turtleneck. Always a little turtleneck. Mm-hmm. Keep him toasty. Like his arms don't get cold, but his neck does.
It's just hot. In the sun.
And Lucas, we move now to the fun stuff, powers and abilities. So Tifa is a martial artist who was taught by Zangan, and in contrast with her reserved personality, is deceptively strong.
Oh, yeah. Insanely strong, as we mentioned.
Yeah, her fighting style primarily involves punches and kicks, and she uses knuckles and claws as weapons to augment her strike. She don't fucking need them.
No, but they are cool fashion.
They are, yes. And it mentions that her skills put her on par with the rest of the party, including Cloud, an enhanced super soldier. So it says she's on par with Cloud, so there's no definitive answer to whether or not she's physically stronger, but I think in a straight-up fist fight, she'd beat Cloud. If Cloud had a sword, Cloud's winning, but in a straight-up fist fight, Tifa's going to whoop his ass every time.
Well, last thing is, Tifa's smart enough to strap a materia to her hands,
so she never loses
whereas if you disarm Cloud, he's got nothing.
I still think Cloud probably does have some like hand-to-hand chops, because he is a trained soldier, but just the idea that Tifa doesn't need a weapon.
And obviously, don't spoil it for me. He is a soldier, and he has some elements of like Zack's abilities, and he was the class one. So there's a messy thing that I don't know that is going on with this story.
You will find out in the next game.
Exactly.
There's some nonsense going on there, yes. But we mentioned here that Tifa's techniques are showcased in her limit breaks. Among the most powerful are Dolphin Blow and Uppercut Punch that summons a dolphin. So I guess I always assumed that was just like a visual representation, but it mentions here, it's on the wiki, she physically summons a dolphin. So that's a real dolphin. That presumably just lives in an alternate dimension and comes out when Tifa needs to uppercut an enemy.
Basically punch hard enough to open a portal from another universe. That's what I'm reading there.
We also have her Meteor Strike, where she lifts the enemy of any size, so any enemy in the game is susceptible to this attack, over her head with a single arm, leaps into the air, and throws them onto the ground. I absolutely adore the monk archetype. Like from the very first like Final Fantasy, monks were one of the physically strongest classes, but they always required the most effort. Like Tifa is, without a doubt, in Remake and Rebirth, the single strongest character you can play as. But you need to unlock her potential. Like there are like full on like combo videos out there of people playing like this is like Tifa when you perfect the systems in the game. She's fucking unstoppable.
It's over!
And in specific regards to Remake and Rebirth, it mentions that Tifa has the best natural speed and the highest strength attribute. So she is the physically strongest member of the party because her strength is the highest.
That's pretty undisputable when you've got statistics to just say.
Like, she physically has the highest speed and strength stats, so she's physically the fastest, strongest character in the team.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah, and do you have like a favourite, like one of the synergy attacks? It does mention like the synergy attacks that you do, because one of the things I've been doing when I've been replaying through Rebirth is just like, I always like skip to another party member when I was doing them to maximise DPS. But I've just been watching like all of like the cool synergy attacks, and the animations are so fun.
I'm here.
Like the one where Tifa and Cloud use Cloud's Buster Sword and together and just swing it around. It's super fun.
That one's really fun. I really like the Barrett and Aerith one where they just strike a pose at the end.
Where like Barrett gives Aerith a pair of his sunglasses and they just like she uses her staff like a machine gun.
Like dynamite.
There's some really fun like interactions now. I like the Yuffie Cloud ones as well. Because right behind me here I have the Final Fantasy art book, and there's a really great like breakdown of Final Fantasy VII in there where they talk about like Yuffie Kisaragi's like motivations and the idea behind the scenes. And there's a really great bit where they talk about how like Yuffie has like a crush on Cloud, but she's like too nervous to say anything.
I mean, that is the sort of thing you're supposed to do in these situations. It was just practice. So don't go thinking it means anything, okay?
Yuffie is a potential date option in the original game and in Rebirth, but it's more as like she has a crush on Cloud that is unrequited.
Yeah, it's more, I think, appropriate in the remake where they realise, hey, this is what, like a 15, 16-year-old girl crushing on an adult. Maybe let's make it more of an unrequited crush.
You're so annoying!
It's more chaste and innocent than it perhaps could be viewed in the original without like the extra context you get from the better graphical quality. And I just like the way they word it in the art book if they call her stealing a kiss like the tomboy's courage.
And we've talked about how strong Tifa is in battle. Yuffie is the character that obviously was literally built for solo play because they were the DLC solo character. And they probably are the most brokenly built because of that. But
Doppelganger breaks the game. Like, she literally doubles up all of her damage with one move, and it lasts for the entire fight. It's busted.
It's bustedly good, and whenever I needed to really, pull some skill out, I would probably play as Yuffie with Tifa as backup for the stagger. But, yeah, it's one of those things of Tifa is built to be in a party. Yuffie literally is built to be a solo character and have every option available.
And she's like just super fun to play as well and really fast. And I also like to mention like her synergy attacks with Cloud, like where they team up and like Cloud catches her and she like pushes him away. It's like it's a fun little detail that she pushes him away. She's embarrassed that she needed his help.
Nice one.
And I absolutely adore when she enters your party. And it's like a fun reference to the original game where you could miss her as a party member by not answering the questions right. In this, it's like you can't not get her in your party. But if you just keep saying, no, I'm alright, I don't want you to join the party, she gets increasingly more pissed off.
Who ties what rose? The one and only Yuffie!
Cool.
Hey, hold it, you spiky-haired jerkface!
And she gets like, by the end of it, she's basically, well, look, if you don't want me in your party, I'll just leave. And Cloud's like, okay, leave then. It's like, really? You don't want me? Go if you want. It's like, are you sure? I could help you out. Just go if you want.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Think this through. Are you absolutely 100% certain you don't want me around to save your butts? Just let me in already!
Yeah, they do the Nintendo classic of every time you press no, the character just is like, are you sure though? Because we kind of want you to say yes.
Yeah.
I know when to take a hint. You don't want me? I'll leave. And you'll never, ever see me again.
Have fun.
I was joking! You gotta believe me. Please let me be one of the gang.
But I find that really fun. Like, it's really great glimpse into her personality as well, of like her being like really insecure. Of like, I can do it all on my own. It's like, go do it on your own then. No, you sure you don't want me to help? It'd be kind of cool if we all helped each other, right?
It's fun for the characterization, but I do miss when games just had those like FU moments of just, oh well, there's a random party member that you can definitely miss by not going to the forest or just not answering the responses correctly when you meet that character in that random forest.
But like losing a party member, right? You're basically losing like a quantifiable percentage of gameplay for that, and I can understand why they wouldn't do it in a modern game.
I understand why they don't, but I also love the kind of stories that would be told of, you know, when you meet up with a friend, it's like, did you get this character? It's like, no. What do you mean? It's like, oh yeah, there was a random ninja that I found in a forest somewhere that just you didn't need to get.
Yeah, like, it sucked not to get Yuffie in your party though, because she's like such a fun addition to the thing.
I swear, Cloud, it's like you're destined to be surrounded by smoking hot chicks.
Lucky me, huh?
And I love the dynamic as well. The moment you get Yuffie in the party, Cloud is now outnumbered by women. And he just can't fucking deal with it.
Ghosts aren't my thing.
You're just being modest. After you.
Mind letting me go then?
Because he's such a fucking goober, he can't deal with being teased. He's bad enough he's getting teased by Aerith. Then he gets teased by Aerith and Tifa because they start having like, their girl bro out. And then you have like Yuffie join in, who immediately slots into that dynamic and just like, you know what, we bully Cloud.
Could this be a date?
Absolutely not.
Aw, now you're just being shy. Don't deny that you were thrilled when this charming beauty came knocking and swept you off your feet. Deep down in your heart, you're thinking, oh, thank you, Yuffie. Let me buy you all the materia you want.
Absolutely not.
Find it really weird when the moment just, oh yeah, cool, we're gonna get Vincent in the party.
He's so obviously in the next game, right? The fact he stands there at the end of the game like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Yeah.
But the fact that when you first meet him, he's like, I'm gonna go back to sleep now. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Why did I not get Vincent in the party? Oh no.
I can't wait to see what his moveset's going to be, because it's going to be fucking ridiculous. Because like, in Final Fantasy VII, he transformed into like a fucking vampire. We're going to have some nonsense with that character.
You're down, Fred!
I can only imagine that he's got to be the most busted character out of all of them by the time that the third game comes around.
The original Final Fantasy VII, he's like ultimate weapon, because that's the thing I'm also looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting all the ultimate weapons. We've not seen those yet, and seeing like the limit breaks as well. I want to see like Omni Slash rendered in like 8K. Like Vincent's like ultimate weapon is death penalty, and it has like a hidden mechanic where every time you kill an enemy, it does a slight percentage more damage. And if you kill enough enemies, eventually the damage multiplier rolls over, and you insta kill every enemy in the game. And I love shit like that, of like, if you kill enough enemies, you break the game's own like code, and just death penalty becomes very literal, of every enemy dies in one shot.
And that's the kind of thing that I love, and I can't wait to see translated into the new game.
Well, that's the thing I'm most looking forward to, because like already the game is built, because obviously the games narrative-wise are like a small part of an entire story, but gameplay-wise they have to build to a big final boss. So I'm like, what is Safe for Sephiroth going to be like? So the ending of Rebirth is like 2 hours of boss fights and crazy ass cutscenes. The fuck is like whatever the third one's called going to be like?
Well, you know that at some point Mickey's just going to turn up, and we were secretly playing Kingdom Hearts 4 all along.
You know what? I'd kind of be okay with that. So when you find like Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh talks about the Warriors of Light from the first game. Like Gilgamesh straight up just knows that there's other Final Fantasies out there, and just Cloud cannot deal. You could not give less of a fuck that he just learned other universes exist.
That's the thing, they're gonna, at some point, probably find out that they're not even in the prime Final Fantasy VII timeline, and that's gonna break my brain.
I'm fully expecting in the next game, like, another Cloud to turn up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, do you like Cloud from, like, Advent Children or something's gonna turn up and we're gonna have, like, 2 Clouds?
Sephiroth from Advent Children is going to turn up, and there's going to be multiple Sephiroths trying to alter the timeline.
I feel like there's going to be only one Sephiroth, but we might get like multiple members of the party. Because I mentioned this when we talked about like Rebirth last time. It is so unfair for Sephiroth that Zack is still alive in the alternate timeline, because he's just the one. He's the Don. He is him.
We've already had a multiversal, multi-timeline battle where Cloud and Zack are both attacking Sephiroth from like different perspectives, and so I don't know where they're going to go with the third one, because they've got to top how ridiculous the second one was.
Also as well, they've got to justify how the fuck Sephiroth's going to survive when Zack's after him. I am not underselling how powerful Zack is. Like, if anyone wondering, like, they talk about Shinra. Shinra is like this globe-spanning, like, monolithic corporation that has its own army. Why have they got like 8 dudes guarding their reactor? That's because in canon, Zack killed the entire Shinra army on his own.
Boy, oh boy. The price of freedom is steep.
Like, the ending of Crisis Core is Zack stands up to the entire Shinra army and kills nearly every single one of them. And he's been shot at by like 100 dudes for 5 minutes straight, and he's okay.
And don't forget, we're also having to deal with the weird Dirge of Cerberus boss at some point, like that Nero character or whatever they're called.
I'm okay if that's not canon.
No, that's literally part of the Integrate DLC.
It is, but I'm okay if they ignore that.
It's like, at some point, we're gonna have to just deal with that part of the timeline.
The only thing
too.
I want them to mention is Advent Children, because I want them to just redo the moment where they fight like Sin Bahamut. And that is where like Bahamut's in the air, and it's probably like the hypest Final Fantasy moment. And it is where like, oh, Bahamut's about to fucking nuke Midgar, like with like Mega Zeta Exaflow, whatever the hell that version of Bahamut uses. And it's like, well, Cloud is like a mile in the sky, you need to get up there, and every member of the party has to throw Cloud up because fuck physics. And they reference it in the Lifeclinger fight where you have like Cloud get knocked back and like Kate Sith catches him and throws him in. But just the idea of all the party throwing Cloud up.
Hype, like, tropey little things you can do. They do it in One Piece quite early on, and I love it, and just the idea of every single member throwing the person further and further into
throwing
the air
someone
great.
in midair it's so stupid because it doesn't make sense from like a physics perspective, but it's always hype as fuck. Like the way Tifa does it, like she catches Cloud, does a full backflip and kicks him into the air. It's so fucking cool.
I do have to correct you though, that the most hype Final Fantasy moment was when Donald Duck did Zeta Flare.
To be fair, the fact that like it can either be used by like Sin Bahamut or Donald Duck is hilarious.
It's great.
Well, as well, he can't even pronounce it because he's got a fucking lisp. Like, what would happen if he mispronounced it and did like an even stronger version? It was like, Zeta Flare! It's like, what are you doing, Donald?
Donald, no!
Just Donald, he can't wear a top, but he can cast Zeta Flare.
It's like one of my favourite like 5-second gifs is like someone playing through like Kingdom Hearts on like a level with like wind, and just see Donald Duck go, and he blows away.
So, the snowstorm can't get us here.
It just always cracked me up for some reason. But yeah, well, you know, that's Tifa. I'm looking forward to whatever they do with like the next game. I am so goddamn excited to play more. Like, just what I really want though is I want please do like what they did with Intergrade and like, you know, introduce to Yuffie. Please give us that for Zack. Because people need to know. People don't know how busted OP Zack is. Because you don't play as it. You play as him for like 5 minutes in Rebirth.
It's okay, because you can go and buy an entire different game. You can go and buy Crisis Core.
In that, he's so powerful. He's so fucking strong in like Crisis Core.
They've already given us an option to play as Zack, and it's by buying a different game, Karl.
He's so fucking strong. But also as well, Sephiroth can't deal, because like Sephiroth knows that, oh, Zack's the one. That's why when he turns up, Sephiroth gets serious, because he knows, like, don't fuck with Zack. Zack will kill me.
So do you think that we're getting Zack as a full party member somehow via shenanigans?
I think we're going to get alternate timeline party.
But do you think that's going to be, like, part of the main game?
I'm not sure. I have no idea, because obviously the story's gone, like, so buck wild. But just, the idea of Zack still being alive is terrifying. Like, there's a reason they had to kill him off.
And to clarify to anyone listening this far, I am purposefully not playing Final Fantasy VII, the original, so that I can see what happens in the remake trilogy without being spoiled on anything, and then get that perspective.
And then play the original. I think like the only thing you knew about 7 as like story-wise is that Aerith dies. I say it's the single most like famous spoiler in all of the history of the gaming as a medium.
Yeah, literally the most famous gaming spoiler that I knew before I realistically knew what any other Final Fantasy was other than 8.
It's weird as well, because like in the very next game is like the Squall dies theory, because I mentioned that earlier. Of like, I play through the game until Squall dies, and there is like a very common fan theory that Squall dies in that game. It's like, no, he doesn't. Dude's too tough. No, you're not fucking killing Squall.
But it's a fun theory.
It's a fun theory, yeah. It's one of those theories that like you share and then don't think about, because it falls apart the moment you try and like apply any logic to it.
But also Final Fantasy VIII falls apart in its own logic of just
it literally falls apart at the end, yeah. The entire universe falls apart.
All of these people that do and don't know each other, and yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a fun mess.
And I guess to end on, Lucas, we do have like some cameos for Tifa in the various other like Final Fantasy media that's been made, and they include Dirge of Cerberus.
Of course. I don't know much about Dirge of Cerberus,
it sucks.
But no one ever talks about that. Everyone always talks about Crisis Core and Advent Children. No one ever references Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, don't play it sucks. In Xenogears, a science fiction JRPG also made by Square, a poster of Tifa can be seen hanging on the wall. Tifa's Dilly Dally Shilly Shally line from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was referenced in The World Ends With You, a game also made by Square. And I love that like people get mad about Final Fantasy VII specifically, having like these weird moments where characters act out of character. When it's not, that's what they would have acted like if the world wasn't fucked. Like Tifa saying dilly dally shilly shally. It's like, that's what Tifa would have been like. She would have been silly and goofy, if not for the fact she had to become an eco-terrorist. Same with Cloud, where there's a moment in Final Fantasy VII where Cloud just says, let's mosey. And loads of people like who don't understand the game, I suppose, say, oh, that's out of character for Cloud. It's like, no, it's not. That's in character for Cloud. This is the first time he's been able to be goofy. This is the first time he's actually been able to be himself. That's why it sounds so out of place. Cause
all of them are essentially young adults that have been dealing with fighting against the government and fighting against a potential apocalypse. They've had their childhood stripped away from them.
Yeah, that's what I mean of like, so when like Tifa says like dilly dally shilly shally, it's like, that's out of character for Tifa. It's like, no, that is her character when she's not fighting in a war.
Well, can we rent some birds?
Can we?
Fine.
Same with Cloud, like, let's mosey. So that doesn't sound like Cloud. It's like, yeah, because Cloud wasn't himself up to, like, literally, in the case like Final, he wasn't himself until that moment.
Yeah, none of them have been able to actually just live their life and have fun. They're all dealing with the world falling apart and literally crumbling upon them in the case of the, the plates.
It's why I love, like, those side stories and the extra missions you have in, like, Rebirth and Remake, where you get to see that element of Cloud's personality, and you have those, like, party interactions that are really fun.
Cloud! You asshole!
Like, the one where you're escorting, like, Salmon the dog, which is really fun, and it's just, like, Barrett talking about how he doesn't want his, like, daughter to grow up.
Yeah.
And you can just tell as well the voice actor was lovely. It's like, oh, Marlene, my little girl. You're going to stay a little girl forever.
Oh, the voice acting.
Voice acting is so
fantastic. Good. The voice acting in that entire party is great, but Barrett is just so emotive.
He's the best one, like, he's the heart of the party. Like, Tifa's my favourite character, but Barrett is the heart of the team. If he wasn't there, the game would be so, like, it would be lacking as a result of his presence.
As much as I want to let her fly, I don't know if I'll be able to let go when the time comes. Maybe I'll panic, get in her way, hold her down, all to keep her safe. Oh, Marlene, I wish you could be my baby girl forever.
Yeah, just from the moment where he talks about the world literally having its life torn away from him. It's like, oh, this is why I want a Final Fantasy remake, because just all of a sudden you're not just reading text on a page or on a screen.
You can actually, feel the intent of those lines being brought to life by the voice actor.
The world is dying, and Barrett really gives a shit.
Yeah, he gives the biggest shit. He has the biggest heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go back to his original village, and it's like all the villagers fucking hate him, and it's like, Barrett, are you okay dealing with this? It's like, it's fine. I can take it. I'm a big dude.
And then you have that moment where he goes and talks to his best friend, and his best friend's not okay anymore, and you realise where Marlene comes from.
Yeah,
and
like when you got to fight Dine, and Barrett's like, come on, man, like, you do it for your daughter, and he's like, I can't. And Barrett has to realise, I'm gonna have to put my best friend down.
Oh, it's a great moment in a great game with many great moments.
There was a lot of moments like that as well. There was a lot of more heartfelt moments that, as you said, were initially text on a screen. It's fantastic. And there's one last thing I want to mention here, Lucas, because I want to see if I can find a clip of it. So, the fight sequence between Tifa and Loz from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was duplicated from the Korean pop singer Ivy MV's Temptation of Sonata music video, albeit with minor changes. And he says that the music video was never aired on Korean television ever again, and the singer Ivy was sued by Square Enix for copyright infringement. So I want to know if I can find that. Because that is going to be an absolute copyright nightmare, right? If that is K-pop, music, and something that Square don't want to exist. Let's get the fucking triple threat on the go and see if we can put a clip of that in.
Holy crap. The idea that, we just altered Advent Children and put it in a music video, but without Square Enix's permission.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a reference. Like Megan Thee Stallion, right? She just dresses up like anime characters because she fucking loves anime. That's one thing, but ripping off the choreography and the outfits and stuff feels a bit weird.
Yeah, because, for example, I know Kenny Omega's pretty famously done One Winged Angel as an entrance theme, but, yeah, I'm sure that's probably with permission.
Oh, it's a reference. It's a homage. It's being done, lovingly. I think as well, Kenny Omega. He is now in Street Fighter. He's the dude who's, mo-capping Alex, and Alex does his fucking, celebration from wrestling.
Exactly, yeah. So Kenny Omega's doing it the way that, playing along nicely with the game
It's
developers.
Megan Thee Stallion, right? Dressing like anime characters, and now she gets invited to, anime conventions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just, there's a way to do it, but just stealing Advent Children and putting it in your music video is probably not the one.
You know what, let's see if we can put that clip in, and if we can't, hey, either way, thank you all for watching. Let us know your favourite female Final Fantasy character, and we'll see you all next time.
The quick stir with the uncanny ability to
Shout out our supporters on Patreon. Shout out all of the supporters we have over on our Patreon.
You want to see me do it again? You want to see me do it again?
I can't believe it's March already, mate.
Don't. Oh,
it's not been great so far, has it? It has not been a good 2026, to say the least. But that only makes us appreciate our big PP supporters over on Patreon all the more.
It does indeed, yeah. 26 has not been off to a great start, so it's really nice to know that we've got people out there supporting us as much as we do.
Yes, it is humbling and scary. It's scary to have that much influence. And who's the first person we need to shout out? Because you've mixed things up today, and you think, no, that alphabetical order stuff, that's old hat. I've mixed up the order now.
I reversed it, Karl.
You have reverse alphabetical order. What a madman. So who's the first one we need to shout out?
Well, we need to, of course, shout out the army that is Ghost, 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 Little Ghost, 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 and they are all little ghost emojis, as I say, the little army of ghost emojis.
The thing is, though, I can't tell, because Little Ghost has been a long-time supporter now. Are there more ghosts, or am I just used to the amount of ghosts?
I'll never know. I can never remember whether there's, just an extra ghost been added or not.
Are we going to get to the point where just, our shout-outs at the end of our videos are going to be just the entirety of 13 ghosts? I can just upload Matthew Lillard, just absolutely...
To be
like
fair,
going ham in 13 Ghosts. 'Cause how many ghosts have we got? That's 10
we're
ghosts.
not far off because we've got Little Ghost the name and 10 ghosts, so we're at 11 ghosts right
That's
there.
11 ghosts.
We're so
That's
close
a lot
to
of
13
ghosts. That's
ghosts.
an entire football team.
It is. I can't
We should
wait.
be the easiest football team ever to beat, right? Imagine the goalkeeper of a ghost football team. Fucking nailed it, 82-0.
I can't wait for Karl to have to find a clip of football to put in now.
What did I just say? Did I just say there's a petting zoo downstairs? No! There are ghosts downstairs, Arthur. Right?
But moving swiftly on, the next person to shout out is another long-time supporter, and they are continuing on with their trend of making myself and Lucas feel exceptionally white, because their name is written in another language, and it's a language neither myself nor Lucas speak, and their name is simply Tinakui Horchata, Niklat Wan Nietzsche, Pansil Wan Neo Paktok, Mosla Niknetel Ettel. And that was pronounced, and I checked, I reached out to someone who speaks this language, and they said it's pronounced bad.
Poorly. And it's funny because you can tell the embarrassment that I felt a few months ago giving the shout to Tinakui or Chatter of just, it's been Karl ever since. The shame cam it got me too much.
Like, Lucas was so embarrassed about how badly he butchered that pronunciation. He has specifically arranged it every month that name always appears when I've got to shout it out.
Don't know what you mean.
Skies, but in the sunshine in northwest Wales at RAF Mona, just up the road from Llanfair Pwllgwyn, Gellgogera Quindrobol, Llantysilio Gogogoch, the temperature got to 21 Celsius, that's 70 in Fahrenheit.
The next person we have to shout out is, yet again, another long-time support, which I think, it's much appreciated because I think all of these names are at this point, but yeah.
These are among the longest relationships I've ever had of it.
True. We need to shout out, Split Screen needs to stop spending money on Gunplers when thou hasn't even opened the last 5. And
all I can think when I hear the word Gunpler is my ex who referred to Bionicle as Gunpler for white people, and I just couldn't fucking deal. It put me on my ass for like 5 minutes.
It's such a good one.
Can you find the power? Bionicle. Each set sold separately.
And I can't specifically sympathise with the Gunpla situation, but I can sympathise with the fact that, like, oh yeah, like, I've bought many video games in the past, and just, like, that backlog just builds up, and you feel so guilty. It just, like, Death Stranding 2's just looking at me as I'm playing, like, Resident Evil 9. It's like, we only got halfway there, Lucas. I'm like, yeah, but Resident Evil.
For me, it's the manga. I bought like a shit ton of like this really bad manga that I mentioned in a video a while back. And it's like, I'm not enjoying reading this, but it cost me like £6 a book. I'm not wasting that £6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of got to get through it, like, you know, everyone's favourite. I was going to mention who sing it, but I forgot. Is that?
I don't know.
It, it's a song. Because the next person to shout out is, once again, a long-time supporter, Rosalindith Memphis. And I'm going to continue on with my trend of just putting in the most god-awful Nightcore remix of Walking in Memphis. And I will continue to do so until Rosalindith Memphis reaches out personally like, I fucking hate that song. Stop it. You stop it right now. But the fact they've kept the same name and the same level of support means that we must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, until we get a message on Patreon, I think we've got to continue with the bit, because clearly it's not a bad enough bit that they're angry with us yet.
It's like either they find it very funny or they just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm reminded of that like great like Tumblr post of the person like, yeah, my dad went to like college with Ted Bundy, and every like weekend said, I'll see you Monday Bundy. And I can't imagine how much Ted Bundy wanted to kill him for it. That's what I imagine it's like. You're just like, the joke wasn't funny, and it's definitely not funny like a year into it, but now you've committed. And Lucas, moving on, who do we have to shout out next?
Well, the next person we have to shout out is another person that has continued to keep the same name, and that is Ranma Soatome. And I think I've said it different every single time. I'm just like, you know what? We'll mix it up. One of them, you know, we're just throwing darts at a dartboard, and eventually I'm going to hit that bullseye.
It's fine, because I looked up like the dub of the anime that's from, and the English people pronounce it different every time as well.
Is that just like a thing of old animes where just it wasn't popular enough and the dubs weren't high budget enough for them to care.
Yeah, it's like the most legendary like bad translation will always be Samurai Cop.
Okay.
Like in Samurai Cop, which is about a cop who wields a samurai sword, he's asked what does katana mean? He said it means Japanese sword. And it's just, that's not what it means. But he's committed.
What does katana mean? It means Japanese sword.
And speaking of, like, you know, fuck you, we've got Fallopian Starship and the Tunnel of Love, which the more I hear it, the more it's a sex reference.
I mean, it's the Tunnel of Life, Karl.
Tunnel of Life? Oh, shit, yeah, Tunnel of Love. That's definitely a sex reference. Tunnel of Life, maybe it's just they had a really formative experience going through a tunnel, which still sounds like a sex thing, and I'm really trying to move away from the metaphor, but it works on so many levels.
Oh, like, you took this beautiful thing and just went, you know what, Tunnel of Love.
They're called Fallopian Starship. Like, they know what they're doing with that name.
Like, have you got a favourite Tunnel of Love joke you think, and is it The Simpsons?
I thought you were going to say, have you got a favourite fallopian?
No, I was not going to ask that question. You took that one.
I think, like, Tunnel of Love, like, it's not quite the same thing, but I do love, like, the Simpsons episode where they go to Duff Gardens and they have, like, the It's a Small World rip-off ride.
No fear for me, no fear for you. I'll have a dog, you have one too.
I hate that this is now a thing, I'm sorry.
That would be Daddy Grunt, and maybe Daddy Grunt could take little baby grunts as well.
The thing is, like, have we ever seen a baby Krogan?
Baby Krogan?
Because I think the closest we get to a baby Krogan is Grunt. And he's like, what, 1 day old, and he's like 9 foot tall. He's like the genetically perfect mega Krogan.
It's like they've injected me with so many growth hormones. I'm a baby.
This guy's 50. He's got a mustache.
Not according to birth certificate.
I don't think there's ever been a more badass from second one, except for that one Urukai in Lord of the Rings, who is born coming out of like the weird pod mid-sword swing. And it's like, that Urukai has a confirmed kill, like, less than 3 seconds after being born.
Going for it.
Badass does not even begin to cover it. And, you know, and speaking of badasses, the last person we have to shout out today is, and I quote, a bee of light hits bee of awesome square in the forehead. Gah! Cracks begin. It feels like I'm splitting into two. I am available to be hired as a voice actor if you've got literally £0 and you want the project to suck ass.
Like, just get both of us in. Let's do it.
I would do voice acting for free for a fan if they can prove that they might sponsor a Patreon spot. I would swap voice acting in return for a Patreon spot.
Let's go.
I'll make that as a standing offer if you are a long-time supporter on our Patreon at the Big PP tier. I will give you some voice acting for free.
I second that, but I do appreciate the idea of like using this shout out to get us to essentially act out mini scenes.